Book recommendations. Do you have some book recommendations that shaped the way you think? It could be technical or it could be just general, you know.
Yeah, I do. My my reading lists are very strange. So I picked three books that are kind of representative of the whole spectrum.
Okay.
Um, One book that I really like. This is more for the AI folks. It's
Mm-hmm.
called The Alignment Problem by Brian Christian.
Okay.
This book, I don't know, it's like a super accessible intro to AI. Even if you're not a researcher in AI, maybe there's a lot of like repeated stuff. But what I really like about this book is that it balances a lot of things that I like about AI writing, in that it has a lot of historical context. So they talk about like, the origins of reinforcement learning, for example, or like
Mm.
how the SciFar initiative started. So there's a lot of just like history and like how the researchers began thinking about how people think and how that became what we call AI today.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally to that, it talks a lot about the ethical implications of AI, which is of course important, but it doesn't do it in a way that, there's a lot of books out there that are just like 100% alarmist about, like AI is terrible at everything. We're all gonna die. This book really strikes a balance. It speaks about it from a historical view. It
Mm.
speaks about it with some optimism about what the future of machine learning can hold, and it also has a lot of cautions about ways that black box systems that use data can be wildly misused. So that's a great book. Um, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. I'm sure it's a book that a lot of people recommend, but it's a great book about just like, how we think,
Mm.
particularly like our conscious versus unconscious kind of part of the brain.
Mm.
Um, what I like about this book, besides that it's just super interesting, is that it's really fun because there's a lot of experimental results
Yeah.
that are shared to back up the findings, and there's a lot of like mathematical puzzles for you to work out while you read the book. So like you're basically like, I remember when I was reading it, I had a piece of paper where I was like doing like all the probability stuff. I enjoyed it. I gave the book to my dad, and he did not like. He was like, "Why do I have to do math? I'm reading a book." But if that's for you,
Okay.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, and the third set of books, uh, you know, it's fiction. It's the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy, or also known as the Three Body Problem books by
Oh.
Cixin Liu. Um, yeah, it's a sci-fi book about basically aliens. But what I really like about this is going back to the AI world again. I think when humans imagine stuff, I think about this a lot. Like when we imagine things, we are always interpolating from things that we have seen in the past. And you can think of like the same thing for a neural network, where you're just always looking at things within distribution of training data.
Mm-hmm.
This book is like, the author has so much imagination that I truly believe he has like out of distribution thinking, because the things that he came up with, and like the scale of like time basically that he applies in the books, like as far as like explaining the universe in like ways that really mess with your head. Like, this is a special person that wrote the book, and I would highly recommend it. So
What's the
those
name of the book again?
the first book in the trilogy is called The Three Body Problem.
The three body problem. Yeah.
Yeah. The trilogy is called Remembrance of Earth's Past. So it's three
Okay.
books by the same author. But yeah, they're super good. I recommend people read them if they want their brains to melt a little bit. Would recommend. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, for each of these three books, there's lots of other books similar that I like. So if
Mm.
anyone wants to know more, you can always reach out. But that's a sample of what I like.
So these are the three categories. The last one is actually about the where you're looking for more creative ideas and like more imaginative sort of domain. And the first one is about so the second one is about the how the mind works, and the first one is more about engineering and AI in general.
Yeah, and specifically about the role of AI in society, which is something that
Okay.
we all have to
Okay.
think a lot more about as we
Yeah. Okay.
as we do things. There's a lot of great books in that vein for sure.
Mm.